Hello, hello. Welcome to my house and welcome to my kitchen. I am, for the second time, doing this. So we'll see how it all goes. I am super excited to be here today. Happy Tuesday.
Hello, hello. Welcome to my house and welcome to my kitchen.
So I'm going to be making a dish today that is really healthy, but also really easy to use. I mean, not to use, really easy to make. So it is zucchini. I have ingredients here. So zucchini, mushroom, poblano, red onion, chicken breast, and organic corn. So why am I using organic corn? I'm using organic corn because, as many of you know, and then maybe some other people might not know, corn right now has so many pesticides and so many chemicals that if you're going to eat corn, what I advise is to buy organic. So that's why I have organic. It's not much more expensive than regular corn and totally worth it. So that's why I'm gonna do that. So the purpose of this is to try to implement more veggies into what we're gonna eat. Day after day, we're like, I wanna eat something healthy, but I don't want it to be boring. And those are the letters that I get every single day of people saying, I'm just sick of eating healthy, but it's so boring. So my mission in life is to be able to share with you guys as many recipes as possible of things that are not boring, super yummy, and super healthy. So let's start. We're gonna start by cutting the onion. So the reason that I choose red onion is because the more color something has, naturally, the best it is for your health. So the way that I like to cut onion is making strips like this. So it makes it look like a little brush. And then after that, just slicing. Why do I pick this? Because by doing this, you're already dicing or cutting in small squares, and you don't have to do like triple the work. So that's the reason that I choose that way. I'm not saying that it's the only way, but I find it to be really practical. So I'm gonna be putting things in little bowls. So I'm gonna put the onion here first. And then I have a different color board, which is this blue one, because I want to always, whenever I'm gonna use raw chicken, I'm going to use like a different cutting board, a different knife, and I'm going to rinse and disinfect anything that I use because raw chicken could be dangerous. So we have to be really mindful about it. Now, again, this is an organic chicken that I also recommend whenever possible for it to be organic because of all the things they feed to chicken, because of all the chicken they have together in one same little place. And I don't want to go into much detail because I find it to be disturbing. So for people who are going to eat chicken, organic chicken is what I recommend. And then also, if you want to do it vegan, that's amazing and that's perfect because then you can use only the veggies, or you can add organic tofu or just the veggies. So anything of those options that you choose is perfect. So this is how I cut chicken in little pieces like that. Usually I do, or I did for a whole year, I did the lives on Instagram. And I am used to talking to people while I do it. So this is different, but I really want to be able to share with more people. Like I said, that's my passion, to be able to share with as many people as possible how cooking healthy can also be really yummy. So I'm gonna cut the zucchini, and I'm gonna start always when I cut something round. I cut a little piece here so I can lay it flat on the board. And then just strips and then squares. So why am I not doing this video with everything already prepped? I am going to do something like that, but I like to show people how to do things. I think that one of the big challenges for many people is, okay, I saw this recipe and I really like it, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to use my knife. I don't know how to use a mandolin. And even though it might seem like, how can you not know? People who don't know. And then whenever somebody tells you how to do it, many times it's like, oh, so it's easy. But I think that explaining to people who've never done it is always a good idea. And then when they do it, it's like, oh, it's easy. So I did the same. Then I'm doing slices. So all the slices are the same size. How do I achieve that? What I always say, putting your left hand like a bear claw, and then your right hand is going to be rubbing this part of your finger, and you're going to be cutting like that and moving the finger. So the finger is going to guide the knife to where you want it to go. So that's a neat trick to know on how, because many times people say, well, I wonder how chefs cut everything the same, because I try at home and things don't look the same. Well, that's that's a way to do it. So I'm doing like medium dice, and then they're all looking the same. Now, I think that I'm going to be doing half with corn and half without corn, because I also know that right now many people are not eating corn. I have been reading a book called The Plant Paradox, which I find super interesting. And one of the things that that the doctor proposes is not to eat corn and not to eat soy, because of what I said earlier. So I know many people are leaving corn aside. One thing that I can say is that so many things in stores have corn syrup, and we don't even read the label, so we don't know. And that corn they use for that is not really the best quality corn. So I really advise that we start reading labels. I think that when we start reading labels and when we realize that so many things, so many products that we buy and that we give our children and that we give our families have ingredients that we cannot even pronounce, then you're aware, and then you're like, I don't think I'm gonna be buying that anymore. So far I have the zucchini, I have the onion, I have the chicken, and I'm going to start cutting or slicing the mushroom. So again, I'm gonna use the same technique. I'm going to put my hand like a little bear claw, so I can cut everything the same size or the same width. They're all thin. And if you're somebody who's just starting and you cannot cut it as thin, give yourself some grace and just say, it's okay, I'm starting, I'm learning. If I cannot do it right now as fast as she or as fast as any other person that that does it super fast, let's not compare ourselves to other people, because when we compare yourselves to other people, we get frustrated and we tend to say, I'm not as fast, I'm not as good, I'm not as smart, I'm not as whatever. But I guarantee you that you are faster and smarter and better at some other thing. We all are unique. We all have our traits. We all have something that other people doesn't or that other people don't, because we are all like a fingerprint. We're all super different, and we don't have to try to be like him or her or whoever, no? Okay, so I have this, I have that. And the last thing that I'm gonna do is the poblano. So many times for different recipes, I burn poblano, but not for this one. For this one, I'm going to use poblano like I would use it for fajitas. So if you ever make fajitas, or whenever I make fajitas, I use poblano raw. I don't peel off the skin. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. The only thing that I'm going to remove is the stem and the seeds. And I'm just going to cut it in strips. And I'm gonna use it like that. Or then in half. And then I'm gonna use it like that. So poblano is not really a spicy chile. People who never eat chile might find it a little bit hot. So just think, if you are someone who never eats chile, then don't put a lot of it. If you love spicy, then just put serrano, but not just poblano, but also you can do some serrano. So here we are. I like these pans because I found these pans. Green Life is the brand, and they are non-toxic. They are it's ceramic, so you can use it to do any kind of food, from eggs to. I don't fry anything anyway, so I was gonna say, if you're gonna fry it, probably it's not a good idea, but I don't fry things. So I really like them. So the first thing that I'm gonna add is the onion. So I'm going to stir the onion a little bit until it is translucent. So why do people, because some people add the onion and they wanna cook right away and add all the other ingredients. And I'm gonna tell you something that's really funny and surprising. But whenever you don't give onion its time and you add everything else and the onion is raw, it never quite gets to the place that it would if you gave it its time. So it's true. Things need their time in life in general, not just onion, but things need their time. So we're gonna leave it for a little bit. It takes almost no time to be ready. And then the second thing that we're going to add, when the pan is really hot, I'm gonna add the chicken. And it's super important that the chicken gets cooked well, but also I want it to like brown a little bit. So I'm going to add the chicken and I'm going to let it sit there without moving. And maybe I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil spray, just so I give it some time to brown. So something I forgot to say is that whenever you use chicken, also what I do is that I disinfect everything. So I disinfect the cutting board, I disinfect the sponge that I'm gonna use to wash, because like I said, chicken has bacteria that if you consume it raw, sometimes you can get sick. So it's super important to wash everything that you're going to use all the time. Sometimes also we forget to disinfect the water. Like if you have a little thing of water with soap and then you put it there and you put it in the dishes, so many times people forget that that's full of bacteria and they keep using it for like 3 days. I really recommend that you change it every single day. So if you're going, especially if you're doing raw stuff like chicken, like meat, make sure that you wash everything that you use, okay? That's super important. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm gonna move it for the first time just to see that it's still getting there. It's not really seared. It's starting to cook, but it's not really seared. And it's funny because whenever you let a pan be, when you least expect it, it's already cooking. But then if you wanna do it right away, and if you are looking at it and hoping for it to be ready, then it takes a longer time. So I suggest that you give it a little bit of time. Whenever I have been in the restaurant business for 20 years, and I have been the chef of those restaurants for the last 15 probably, and whenever we were at kitchens, my cooks would always laugh because they said, when you put water to boil and you're looking at the water and looking at the water, it doesn't want to boil. But the moment that you turn around and go do something else, it's boiling. And it's true. Um, I don't know if it's because of how we perceive time, and then we're so stuck in something that time seems to pass really slowly. Because time is just another subject that I could talk about for a long time because it's super interesting. You know, we conceive time as a concept that I feel is very relative. Although yes, we say okay, if I see it clicking on a watch, I can see the seconds. But then when you are present in time, it things strange things happen. Sometimes it feels like it's only been a minute and it's been an hour, and sometimes an hour has been a minute. So that's how it is in kitchens. Just like now, I'm talking, and now the pan is browning. So it is funny. I'm going to add a little bit of salt at this moment. I usually don't eat salt, don't put salt until the end because I like to try things. But with chicken, I think that it's important that it has a good flavor. So the next thing that I'm going to add is mushroom. So again, with the mushroom, what we want is to let the mushroom be. And I'm kind of pushing the other stuff to the side. So we're also gonna let the mushroom be, and this is something that I learned with a chef named Tiago. I mean, I was doing it on a flat top, but he was saying if you leave the mushroom to sear, then they create a little crust, and then there's not so much water. But if you're like moving the mushroom, uh, then you get a lot of water, and the mushroom never have color. So this is not a flat top, but it's a big pan, and I'm just going to leave them there for a moment. And I really want to talk a little bit about mushroom. So mushroom have grown more popular, specifically mushroom that you can eat to heal. For example, lion's mane, reishi mushroom. All those mushrooms are things that we can get easily that can improve our health in enormous ways. So reishi mushroom is called the mushroom of eternal life because of all the good things that it does for you. Um, Lion's mane is another one. And just mushroom in general are such a great addition because they're like very low in calories. They have a lot of water. They have fiber. And the flavor is not something that you say, oh, I added mushroom and the flavor changed completely, or at least that's what I think. So I like to add mushroom to my food. It adds volume and it adds texture and yes, some flavor. The famous umami flavor is only, or is one of the ways it's achieved is with mushrooms. They even sell the little things that say umami and it has mushroom. Um, and I think that the more vegetables that we can eat, and the more uh, health we can bring into a plate, then the better it's gonna be. And also sometimes we're like, oh, I'm hungry because I just ate a little piece of chicken. Well, but if to that chicken you add mushroom and you add zucchini and you add tomato and you add avocado, then probably it's gonna be another experience. Okay, so mushroom again also is getting a little bit of color, which is what I wanted. So now I have all this. It already looks yummy. And I'm going to add the peppers first. Those peppers are going to add some color. So peppers don't need to be seared, and they're gonna be cooking as I go, so that's okay. And then also I'm gonna add the zucchini. So up to this point, this dish is can be eaten in a keto regime or in paleo. It's very low carb. So if you're doing a low carb diet, I don't love to say diet anymore, but just an eating regime. So if you're doing a low carb right now, then you can either stop, just season it and stop. So how would I season it? I'm going to add salt and pepper. So I use sea salt, and sea salt is what I recommend. Using refined salt is not something that I like to do. I like sea salt. I also use the pink Himalayan salt as well. So pepper. And then again, if you're doing like either keto or if you're doing paleo and you want to add some goat cheese at this point, that can be great. So I'm going to divide it into two because I'm not eating corn, but my husband is, and it's delicious with corn. I mean, if I could, I would totally eat it with corn, but right now I'm not. That's okay. That's also something I want to say. I feel that so many times whenever we have a restriction in our diets, we always focus on what we cannot eat. And then we're like, I can't believe that I cannot eat this, and I'm super sad because I can't. And I feel that the best thing is to focus on what you can eat. So, yeah, I can eat veggies, perfect. I'm going to see what I'm going to eat that has all the veggies possible. Or if I'm not eating bread, that's fine. Or just wheat. Then I'm going to look for things that I enjoy that don't have it. Because if we focus on what's not there, then we don't see what is there. Okay, so this is looking really yummy. The colors are starting to brighten up the stew. And then you could add in the very end, after you try it, you could add cilantro, just like chopped cilantro whenever you're going to serve it. You can eat it by itself. You could eat it inside a quesadilla. You can serve it just as is, just in a bowl, and then eat it like that. And it already has the fiber, it has the protein, it has the carbs for people who are eating carbs like that. So I think that it's something super easy to do. It has a Mexican flair for people who like Mexican, that I know that many people always send me messages like, hey, we want to learn how to do more things that are like Mexican. So I'm going to do more things that are Mexican, more videos. So if you like this video, if you like this recipe, please like the Seed by Van Lee. Down here, you can click on like. And I want to know what you like. I want to know what you wish you can learn. And I will turn that recipe into a healthier version, because that's what I do. I have an ongoing group, and what we do in the ongoing group is that I make the recipes that people love in the healthier version. And that's super fun. And We do a lot of power bowls. We do salads. We did the Caesar salad the other day, and people were like, "Oh my god, we can't believe how yummy this is, and it's healthy." And then I made a ranch dressing that people were like, "Oh my god, I mean, it tastes exactly the same as the one I love." But the ones that we buy in bottles have a lot of things that we can sometimes not even pronounce. Woo, that was unexpected. So I really recommend that you start making your own dressings. So here it is. I really hope that you make it because it's super easy to make. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you are liking this channel. I hope that you recommend it if you like it as well. And again, anything that you want to learn how to make, let me know, and I will gladly come up with a healthier version of that. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. See you next time.